What's up everybody? I'm Alex, aka Alex the Vagabond, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm a travel filmmaker and photographer, but I'm passionate about travel and I'm really passionate about sharing my experiences with you to make your next vacation even better. So if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any upcoming videos. If you're watching this video, chances are you're interested in visiting Kauai. Kauai is one of the Hawaiian islands, all of which are volcanic in origin, but Kauai is unique. It's not as touristy as some of the other main islands like Oahu or Maui, but it is actually the oldest island in the Hawaiian island chain. Kauai is brimming with activities for your next vacation, especially if you are active. It's the island for you, and I highly recommend that you visit. Kauai is known as the Garden Isle because it is ridiculously lush. It's green, it's beautiful, there's jungles, there are very unique flora and fauna that only exist on that island, and it's well worth a visit any time of year. But in this video, I'll be sharing with you some of my tips to make your next trip the best that it can be. I'm gonna be breaking things down geographically at first to explain the different sides of the island, because even within the island of Kauai, there are very different ecosystems. Each one is very unique and worth a good discussion. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's get started with a couple of quick facts. Kauai is the fourth largest Hawaiian island, and it's over 5 million years old, which makes it the oldest of the big islands. Kauai sits to the northeast of Oahu, and the main airport, which you'll probably be flying in and out of, is in the south of the island in a town called Lihue. The island's origins are volcanic, and because it's the oldest island, it actually has the most sandy beaches in Hawaii. That's because the volcanic rock has more time to kind of break down and turn rock into sand. Kauai is stunning no matter where you are on the island, but like I said earlier, the island has very distinct ecosystems, and depending on what you're looking for, it's gonna influence where you choose to stay. So let's talk about accommodation. With everything from cozy bed and breakfasts to large-scale all-inclusive resorts, Kauai has something for everyone, but personally, when I visited with my fiance Carrie, we stayed in 2 different Airbnbs on 2 different sides of the island. So we stayed for a couple of days on the East Coast before we headed up to the northern part of the island in Princeville. The north shore of the island is perhaps the most scenic. It's absolutely beautiful. You've probably heard of the Napali Coast before if you've looked into any sort of research on Kauai, or if you scrolled Instagram. It is a rugged coastline of very large mountains jutting down into the sea. The only way to get in there is on foot on the Napali Coast track. It's a multiple day hike with backpacking where you have to camp. It is very popular, so you have to book about a year plus in advance to get your reservations, and you would have to do that through the Hawaiian Parks website. If you're into surfing, then check out Hanalei Bay. It's one of the best waves on the island. I surfed there when we stayed in Princeville. Super chill, beautiful water. If you're into surfing, look into staying in Princeville. Coming down from the north to the eastern coastline, the East Shore, this is one of the most popular regions in Kauai. It's basically the main hub of the island, and it is littered with idyllic, beautiful beaches, coconut palms lined on sand, and plenty of places for swimming, surfing, and snorkeling. The East Coast is known as the Coconut Coast, and it is home to 3 of the most popular touristic destinations in Kauai. The towns of Kapu, where I stayed, Wailua, and Lihue. So not only is this eastern coast quite central with lots of options for accommodation, it's also pretty safe to get in the water for swimming and snorkeling and such. And there are so many activities to choose from, including one of the coolest things that we did when we were in Kauai, which was renting a kayak and paddling up the Wailua River. Good job, baby. Keep up the hard work. I'll be right here, enjoying the fruits of your labor. To a little waterfall. And by little, I mean quite large. By no means is this a secret. There are plenty of tour operators which operate large group tours in kayaks to get you to the waterfall. But the way that Carrie and I did it, we just rented a kayak from our Airbnb host for like 20 bucks for the day. And we kayaked ourselves all the way up the Wailua River and then hiked in and found the waterfall. Super refreshing after, you know, honestly quite a big workout of paddling up there and then hiking and crossing rivers. But when you make it to the waterfall and you get to just dive in that cool, refreshing water, it is unbelievable. The South Shore is kind of a good spot if you want to be centrally located between the East and the West Coast, but it is a little bit more difficult to find accommodation just because there aren't as many options there. Moving on to the West Coast, this is where I spent quite a bit of time. Carrie and I did a really awesome hike through the Waimea Canyon, which is nicknamed the Grand Canyon of the Pacific. It is an absolutely stunning natural formation, beautiful canyon, tropical but volcanic, a very interesting combination of flora and fauna up there, and it gets to quite high elevation. Be prepared. If you are gonna go to Waimea Canyon and you're gonna drive up to the top, the temperature at the top is gonna be way different than the temperature down by the beaches. So make sure you have, you know, at least a rain jacket or a windbreaker to keep warm. Waimea Canyon was one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. Carrie and I did an epic day hike, and there are tons of different options for hikes. If you're looking for hikes down there, I would recommend downloading an app called All Trails. It's essentially an app that you can download, and it allows you to find hikes in the area that you are. I used All Trails. I found a really, really fun hike, a day hike. We hiked down the canyon a ways to a beautiful waterfall where we dove in, we went swimming. Incredible views stretching out over the canyon, and that was just one of the day hikes. That one I think ended up being around 8 miles long. There was a longer one that was, I believe, about 14 miles and had a very large elevation gain. It's kind of at the upper edge of a day hike, so if you're gonna do hikes down into the Waimea Canyon, just make sure that you're prepared, make sure that you have the right footwear. The terrain there is not designed for flip-flops. You may not think to bring hiking boots to Hawaii or to Kauai, but it's definitely a good call. Scour the internet, check out the like Yelp reviews or All Trail reviews of some of these hiking trails, and most of the pictures are sneakers completely destroyed. At least 2 to 3 liters of water. It can get hot down there. And food, because it's easy going down, but you know, the halfway point where you turn around, you have to hike back out of the canyon. So just be prepared. Definitely worth visiting Waimea Canyon if you come to Kauai. Alongside Waimea Canyon, you also have Polihale Park, which is another beautiful state park on the west coast of the island. Camping is permitted there, but if you're looking to camp, make sure you Google and figure out a little bit more information before you go. The weather on the island is pretty stable throughout the year. It's always quite pleasant, but just be prepared for tropical weather. So there's a lot of humidity. Also, the sun is quite strong, so be prepared to protect your skin. And also, bring a rain jacket and an umbrella because it rains quite a lot. Mount Wailua, the second tallest point on the island of Kauai, is often referred to as the wettest place on Earth. It rains a lot there. That's why it's called the Garden Island. That's why everything is so green, because it rains a lot. You'll probably also be interested and notice that there are chickens everywhere on the island. Never seen so many chickens in a tree. Look at them all. Pretty nice spot with a view. So let's talk about beaches. Kauai is home to countless beautiful beaches, and honestly, pretty much anywhere you go on the island, you're gonna find beautiful beaches. Poipu Beach is one of the most popular spots on the island, but for good reason. It's often been named the best beach in the world, and always coming onto the list for the best beaches in the country. Located on the south side of Kauai, Poipu is often nicknamed the sunny side of paradise, with plenty of activities for sun and sand. Now, if you're into seeing aquatic wildlife in the wild, this is a great place to go. You have seals, whales, and dolphins, but the giant sea turtles are probably most likely to steal your attention. Another unique destination worth a visit in the Hanalei area is the Queen's Bath. It used to be only open to the ali'i, or the royalty, the hereditary rulers of Hawaii. The waters were considered sacred, and it was an area where the royalty could come and bathe and wash away their stress. Now it's open to the public, but really, you need to be careful because people die here all the time. The tide pool is actually quite dangerous. People do jump in and go swimming, but there are very strong currents and big waves, big surf that push the water right up against the rock. So if you do come to the Queen's Bath, be very careful. I highly recommend that you don't go swimming. Queen's Bath is not looking so royal today. Also make sure that you're wearing proper footwear. The trail down to the Queen's Bath was extremely wet, slippery, and muddy. One woman slipped and fell extremely hard and sprained her ankle, so I highly recommend that you wear the proper footwear when going to the Queen's Bath. When visiting Kauai, make sure that you sample the local cuisine. Food trucks are a great way to sample the cuisine of Kauai without breaking the bank, and Kapa is the best place to go if you're looking for food trucks. No visit to Kauai would be complete without sampling some poke. Poke has skyrocketed in popularity around the world, but this native Hawaiian dish is best sampled in the local markets. If you're looking for a little bit more history and heritage, then I highly recommend checking out the Kaloa Heritage Trail. Located in the historic town of Kaloa, the Heritage Trail takes you past sugar and pineapple plantations that date back to the mid-1800s. And Sprouting Horn Park, home to Kauai's famous blowhole. Lastly, I recommend exploring the history and culture of Kauai's legendary grounds. Just a short drive from Lihue sits one of Kauai's most notable areas. Famous in Hawaiian folklore, the Alekoko fish pond, or the Menehune fish pond, is storied to have been built hundreds of years ago in one night by the mythical Menehune people. The legend isn't the only thing that makes this landmark special. It's also home to many different endangered bird species in the Hulea National Wildlife Refuge. Kauai is also rumored to be the birthplace of the Hawaiian hula dance. So if you're trying to get your hula on, if you want to go home with a new skill to impress your friends, then check out some of the hula dance academies on the island. All right, everybody, well, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure that you give it a big thumbs up and you share it with your travel buddies who you're planning to visit Kauai with. If you're not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And as I always say, train harder, fail smarter, and never give up. I will see you guys very, very soon. We out. Peace.